Today's video is a sponsored video by Simple Mobile, and if you're anything like me, you really don't appreciate getting hit upside the head with some of these ridiculous cell phone bills. In fact, in some instances, I've really had to debate whether I can make those late night calls or not, simply because I don't have enough minutes left in my plan. Well, Simple Mobile does have a fix for this. They've come out with a very simple plan, as the name implies, and all you need is your GSM phone and a Simple Mobile SIM card, and you just go online and activate one of their very simple plans. Now, if you want to find out more about Simple Mobile, click on the annotation on the screen right here for you on your desktops, or if you're on mobile, there's going to be a link in the description box below. So keep things simple, and let's get on to the video.
So I'll be expecting my Oscar any day now, because that, my friends, was some good-ass form in terms of acting abilities. But anyway, speaking of form, what you're watching here is my workout from this previous Friday, which was supposed to be a speed day on squats. I think it called for like 290 for 6 sets of 2 or something like that. But what I wanted to do instead was really just work on some form and some feels. So we're going to call this Freeform Feels Friday! That was a pretty significant title, and I got really excited over it. But I threw feels in there and just instead of form Friday, only because if you take a look at my form here, while my depth is probably better, my bar path is still all kinds of fucked up. It definitely goes a little bit to the right. And that's okay, because so do other things in my life if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But overall, these squats actually felt really good, and one of the things you'll be able to see here is I got some new knee sleeves. Yes, these are the Slingshot knee sleeves by Mark Bell and HowMuchYouBench.net from SuperTraining.tv. They were sent to me by my good friend Silent Mike. I'll have links to them in the description box below. As far as these knee sleeves go, I will link them as well if you're interested. I want to say they run about $60. This is the first time that I've worn them, and I will be doing a comparison review of them very shortly. So I'll compare them both to my Rebands and my SBDs, because I know you guys want to hear them, but I will say that they are very aesthetically pleasing, the black and white, and yes, that does make a big difference in my life. I know it's very sad, but how things look is very important, despite what your parents told you. If your parents told you that looks don't matter, it's on what's the inside that counts, you were probably a pretty ugly kid growing up. I know I was. Checking in here, raising my hand, you can't see me. But again, what I did here was just some sets of 2 of 315, and again, because this wasn't anything overly heavy in terms of weight or the reps required, I did not use a belt, I did not use my wrist straps, just really, again, working on this feels and then forms, and these felt really, really good. I didn't get too many angles here, but I got some of the main ones, and I like to try to do these side view angles, which you just saw a few sets of before, only because this really gives you a good idea for depth. So when you're in a powerlifting meet, you have 3 different judges. One will view you from the front. It's tough for me to get a front view here only because there's no real room to, and it would just really be a zoomed up crotch shot, which I know some of you would probably appreciate. But then I try to get a side view because you'd have 2 side judges, so you can actually see depth, see that hip crease go below the top of my knee. And then from there we moved on to front squats. I wasn't really planning on doing these, but I really want to up the volume overall of my squats as well as the frequency. So we started to do some front squats here, did some sets of 5 with 225, then we jumped up to 275 as well for a few sets, using a front rack position here with arms crossed. I cannot do a standard Olympic grip on these. My flexibility in my wrist is just not there, and because I'm not really worried about setting new 1 rep maxes or PRs, I go with what's most comfortable for me, in which case is the cross grip. So I know a lot of you say, hey, why don't you just do that? Well, I'm sorry, my friends, it's not that easy. It's a little bit of a sore subject if you can't tell, and if you can't already tell, I'm not flexible in any sense of the means, and most of my lives in my wrists and my shoulders is another instance of it. Thank you for pointing that out. But overall, these felt pretty good. I wasn't really actually happy on my depth on these, though. Typically, when I do front squats, my depth is a lot better. I think I was just feeling a little bit tight here. One of my issues is when I go down in the hole, my hamstrings rub against my little itty bitty calves, and when I do that, I usually just call it quits, and this is pretty much as far as my flexibility and mobility allows me to go. However, in most cases, I think I typically push knees out a little bit wider, which can compensate for some of this and allow me to get a little bit deeper. Just wasn't to be this particular day. So last set here, again, 275 after this, called it quits for the day. Figured I did enough volume and I was feeling pretty good, not to mention it was Friday night. I didn't really feel like sticking around the gym any longer past this point. I did manage to get to the gym the following day as well to do my overhead press. Also worked in some incline barbell bench, some arms, and I may or may not have trained some calves for the first time in years. However, no video evidence of this exists because I did not film it, so I cannot confirm nor deny the fact that I did train calves. You'll just have to take my word for it. So now what you're seeing instead is my Monday work. This is deadlifts. It's a strength day. And what I wanted to do on this particular day is just get some heavy singles in at first, kind of just build up my overall working feel of some heavier weights, because it's been several months since I've moved above about 545. So I just wanted to kind of start reintroducing heavier weights into my workout regimen. And here you see the first pull at 495. It went really smooth and it felt pretty good. Moved on to 545 from there. Again, this is the heaviest I've pulled in several months. And although this felt really good, it looked really, really slow. But again, still got to stick with it. Just want to kind of shock my body, pepper my Angus, whatever you want to call it. Here you see 565, trying to really work on getting my core tight here. I had a little bit of lower back stiffness, so I just wanted to make sure that I was getting a good strong core in order for this pull to happen. And again, it goes up, but it's just really slow. So it's a lot harder than it should be, but again, that's okay because we're really just working on getting things back to where they need to be. So here we have 585, again, about a 20-pound jump. Still felt really good on this, although it doesn't look like it now that I'm watching it. Really slow. But everything felt good. I then moved on to drop the weight back down to 495 pounds, at which I did 3 sets of 3, so I got my volume in as well. But again, need to really start creeping up on heavy weight. Pause, because I got a little all excited. I then decided to also do some squats, even though I just squatted a couple days prior. Now, what you'll see here is 225, just really working on some form things, and I didn't really know where to start here, only because I just did all those deadlifts. Ended up doing 12 working sets. For this, I'm also using just my flat shoes, so my CrossFit Light TRs. You see my ankles cave in just a little bit, but I gotta say, these actually felt really, really good. I'm talking surprisingly good. I'm talking high school graduation, prom night, all rolled into one. Girlfriends had 1 or 2 Smirnoff Ices. Kind of good. Again, if you know what I'm saying, I don't know, maybe some of you guys out there live in your parents' basement and haven't had those feels just yet, but now you have some stuff to look forward to. Then jumped up to 275, just sets of 5 here again. Happy with my depth with these side views. Things, again, felt really strong here. I also find my knees aren't necessarily going as far forward as they typically do, so that's interesting. I'm going to continue to play around with these shoes and see how I like them. Now, as far as the stability of them go, I don't feel as stable as I do in my Olympic lifting shoes because the heel isn't as strong. However, I just really felt like some good pressing happened here because of this. You also see some slight calf flexion there. What is going on? 315, this is the heaviest that I worked up to. Again, just a set of 5. And if you really want to, you can compare this to the 315 earlier with the Olympic shoes. I don't really feel like it. I think it looks pretty similar, although I think my bar path here is just a little bit better. So this is something to keep in mind. But that's going to end the video. As always, thanks for watching. In the meantime, stay big.